In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon you all. This is an English session, grade 8. Unit 3, lesson 1. The title of this lesson is I've finished my work. I've finished my work. New structure, the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense. Form, the present perfect tense formation. Subject plus have or has plus past participle or the third form of the verb or the third conjugation of the verb. How do we get the third form of the verbs in English? In English, I said, in English we have verbs have two classifications, regular verbs and irregular verbs. To get the second and third form of regular verbs, we add D or ED or IED at the end of the regular verbs. To get the third form of irregular verbs, we must memorize them. So here, subject, have or has, plus the past participle of the main verb. Past participle or the third form of the main verb or the third conjugation of the main verb. Have or has plus past participle in the affirmative statement, يعني في الجملة الخبرية. To change the sentence into negative, we only add not after have or has. Have not or has not plus the past participle. Have or has plus the past participle. Subject, have or has plus the past participle. Keywords. Just, since, and for. Keywords, just, since, and for, and yet. The present perfect tense usage, we use the present perfect to talk about an action. Number 1, or usage. We use the present perfect, number 1, to talk about an action which finished a short time ago. To talk about an action which finished a short time ago. To talk about an action which started and finished a short time ago. For example, I've or I have just written the past participle of the verb write, or the third form of the verb write is written. I've just or I have just written a short story. This action started and finished or finished a short time ago. Started in the past and finished a short time ago. So the present perfect tense is used to talk about an action which finished a short time ago. Here just, okay, I've just written a short story. Have plus the past participle of the main verb write. The past participle of the verb write is written. She has just studied English. He studied English or she studied English a short time ago or a moment ago. So the present perfect is used to talk about an action which finished a short time ago. Number 2, we use the present perfect to talk about an action which started and finished in the past but we don't know when. But we don't know when. We use the present perfect to talk about an action which started and finished in the past, but we don't know when. Okay? For example, I've met, the past participle of the verb meet. I've met my old friend. This action started and finished in the past, but we don't know when. So the difference between the present perfect and the past simple, the past simple is used to talk about an action which started and finished at a specific time in the past, at a specific time in the past. But the present perfect is used to talk about an action which started and finished in the past, but we don't know when. So in this sentence we can use the past simple. I met my old friend yesterday. So the difference between them, an action which started and finished in the past but we don't know when, the present perfect. But the past simple is used to talk about an action which started and finished in the past at a specific time in the past. Number 3, or the third usage, to talk about an action which started in the past and which may be continuing in the present and future. We use the present perfect, the third usage, to talk about an action which started in the past and which may be continuing in the present and in the future. Here we use since and for. So the difference between, what's the difference between since and for? Since is used or to talk about an action. The present perfect in general is used to talk about an action which started in the past and which may be continuing in the present and in the future. For example, I've lived in Cairo since 2012. This action started in the past but is still happening now. So the present perfect is used to talk about an action which started in the past and which may be continuing in the present and future. And we can use for, but the difference between since and for is that since followed by the starting point of time, 2012. We can use for. I've lived in Cairo for 8 years. So for followed by duration of time, since followed by the starting point of time, and for followed by duration of time, the length of time that something continue. Okay? We have 3 usage to talk about an action which started and which finished a short time ago. The second one to talk about an action which started and finished in the past but we don't know when. The third one to talk about an action which started in the past and which may be continuing in the present and future. Okay? And we can use the present perfect to talk about an action which hasn't happened yet. For example, I haven't, the last one, I haven't studied English yet. This action hasn't happened, okay? So yet is used in negative form and question form. Goodbye, see you next session.